Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Manahil Remotejobwali. I am a student of Rahman School Koengi campus and I am delighted to be your host today. And I am from Karachi, Pakistan. We have a very special guest who needs no introduction, the remarkable Rex Six. Today we are going to delve into Rex's incredible life journey and the wisdom he has to share with all of us. So let's give a warm welcome to our guest, Rex Six. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. So, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, and how are you? And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
I'm good. It's also my pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. So, first of all, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Well, I'm Rex Sikes. I wrote a book. I've got a few of them, but the most recent book is Life on Your Terms. And I do what I do because in my journey, when I was younger, I had a breakthrough and realizations and discovered so many things as a result of my own. What you think it's a personal journey, but it's never. You're never alone. But there were other people on the journey that helped me, both those alive and dead, authors I read, but mentors and gurus that I spent my time with. And so I have dedicated my life to paying it back and to paying it forward to try and help people, uh, sometimes before they even realize they need help, by just being available.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Can you briefly share your journey from a skydiving accident to rediscovering confidence and positivity in just a few sentences?
Sure, any tragedy that any of us have can be looked at in two ways: as a tragedy and something that's disappointing and something we don't want, or a launching pad, or a place of change where from what is disturbing or disappointing or depressing to be the very thing that makes us move forward in life and has us uh, claim our resources and discover opportunities. And that's what happened to me through an accident that I had, and that was many years ago. Most people have experiences in their life that are upsetting, and that at one point or another they look back and they go, if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that could be either, where I am today I don't like, or where I am today is incredible. So we have a choice on how we want to view things. And if you can view it as, I'm here and it's incredible, I mean, that's why I'm here, is to help people to understand that you can get from where you came from, and you don't have to hurt to do that.
All right, sir, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, as the mindset master and the attitude doctor, what's the key message you want to people to take away regarding mindset and attitude transformation?
It's a great question. Most people don't understand the power that they have within them, the power that you have within you, that I have within me, and that is our attitude. Our attitude is made up of our thoughts and our beliefs and the energy that which we put into them. And for most people, sadly, most people have a really poor attitude. They tolerate things, that they don't need to. They give up when they ought not to. They find problems where there aren't problems, so they manufacture them. Mindset is everything. Attitude is the most important predictor for success, according to science and research. It's the most important predictor for success in every area of your life. It was discovered primarily through the placebo effect in the realm of healing and health, that how you think about healing and how you think about your health definitely means the difference between whether you do heal or whether you may not heal, or whether you heal easily or not. And as the research unfolded through the decades, we discovered more and more that whether your attitude is good or bad in romance, whether you think you can, some people think, oh, I'm lonely, I'll never find a loved one, as opposed to being a loving person. And from that mindset of being loving and kind and generous, going, I will attract the person who is right for me. Whether it's business, some people think I'm no good at money, I won't never have anything, things suck. and they're bad. Whereas if your attitude is, you know what, if I don't know how to do it, I can learn to do it, or I can connect with somebody else to do it. Attitude will see you through every single problem. Uh, it's not magic, but it works like magic. I mean, it truly does.
Yes, sir, you are absolutely right. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, in your experience, what's one common challenge people face when trying to change their mindset, and how can they overcome it?
Wow. That is absolutely a great question because the most common challenge people have is recognizing a poor attitude, recognizing that they need the help and then doing something to change it. Most people sit and wallow and suffer needlessly when they could change things quite easily, or even if it took a lot to change, if they don't realize that there's a problem, they're not going to work to fix it. And with most people, their number one problem is their mindset. It's thinking bad, it's thinking negatively, it's thinking in a defeated way. It's not. Someone once said that positive thinking was like going, there are no weeds, there are no weeds, there are no weeds in the garden. But that's not what a positive attitude is. A positive attitude says, okay, there are weeds in my garden, and I can weed my garden and I can make it beautiful. And if I don't know how to do that, I can find somebody who can do that. And if I can't afford it, I will find a way to afford it. In other words, it's what moves us forward. And most people give up and don't use the power to recognize the possibilities and the opportunities and the resources available to them both inside them and from all around them. Hence, it's why I wrote the book, Life on Your Terms, so that you can live the kind of life you want to live and have the kind of experiences you want to experience. And if you have experiences that are not so good, to know how to get through them easier and swifter and faster and more productively and positively than you would otherwise.
That's really a good answer. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, could you briefly explain the concept of mind design and directed questions and their practical applications?
Well, Mind Design is a program that I developed 30, 40 years ago, which was, again, it was how do you design your life in your mind so that it is so wonderful and so beautiful and so much fun and you're having so much delight that you enjoy living it and that you live in gratitude and you live with peace and you live with kindness and compassion so that you're not competing with the world, but you're collaborating with the world and you're finding harmony in all things. And directed questions is part of that process that I discovered as a result of my injury in skydiving. In that, after months and months of suffering and having all sorts of problems, I locked myself in my apartment to do visualization and affirmations and stuff. And I realized as I sat in a chair for over 6 weeks and just tried to get my mind together so that I could go back out in the world and feel confident and have my friends, because I'd lost everything. I lost my career, I lost my friends, I lost a fiance. I mean, I lost everything. And so I sat in this chair and I went, why did this happen to me? How could I be so stupid? Why am I always screwing things up? And how come nothing ever works out well for me? And why didn't so and so do this? And how come? And after about 3 weeks of doing that, I realized I don't want to know that stuff. It doesn't matter why I did it or how I did it or who did it or what did it. It was all blames and excuses and reasons that didn't make me feel any better. It only made me feel worse. When I realized what I wanted to know is how quickly could I feel confident to go out in the world and win my friends back? How soon or in how many different ways could I discover those aspects of me that were worth, emphasizing and promoting so that I went out into the world and I got my career back and I learned how to do things. How could I find love for myself and acceptance and forgiveness for myself so that instead of feeling horrible, I began to feel good. Instead of asking why do things not work out, I would ask things like, in how many different ways can I discover how much fun and delight and love and kindness I can have today? So it's about directing your mind. Here's why mindset and attitude is so important. we're always affirming stuff, no matter what. There's only three things you can do in at least the English language. You can make a declaration, like in a court of law, they say you are guilty or you're not guilty. That's a declaration a judge or jury makes. You can make an assertion: I'm a male, you're a female. I'm 5'9", 5'10", whatever. I'm sitting at talking to you. That's an assertion. Or I can say, how are you today? What's going on with you? Or why are things horrible, or why are things great? So we have the ability to do these things, and for most people, they go, I knew that would screw up. That was terrible. I don't know why. I'm so stupid. And they affirm things with a lot of energy, or they assert things, or they ask bad questions. So what directed questions solves for many people, and a lot of people have run with my work and have taken different variations and written different books on it and things, but it's about directing your mind to the power of your mind and your attitude and your heart space to get the good things in life, and shifting away from the stuff that is hurtful, harmful, or disappointing, or negative. So it's taking deliberate charge of your mind by asking the right kind of questions, and then also designing your life with mind design so that you live the best life you can, so that all things work together for good, and so that you find a peace that passes all understanding, and that you live the kind of life you have with the kind of love and relationships and friendships with friends or family, or whatever, to be able to accomplish the things that you want, so that you can have the kind of money you want in your life, so that you can feel good about yourself no matter what's going on. Again, and that's why I wrote the book. It's also why I created something called the Attitude Activator.
Yeah, sir, that's really good answer. Thank you so much for your incredible answer. I really like your answer. Thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, can you share your brief success story from your mentoring or coaching that showcases the impact of your teachings?
Well, I have many. I mean, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of people whose lives have been changed positively through the years, and some were broke and had nothing, and now are very, very extremely wealthy, and some others. A lot of times, I get called in, for people who are very successful, millionaires or billionaires, and they've got everything they could possibly want in the world. They've accomplished themselves, monetarily and by collecting things, but they don't have peace inside themselves, or they don't feel good about themselves, or they're suffering from all sorts of internal issues that they want resolved. And one guy called me and said, look at what I have, but there's still me. And so what I do is I help connect people up with who they truly are, and who we truly are is not the person who we walk around as so much, with the thoughts that are defeating, the feelings that are bad, the behaviors or speeches that we don't want. We're truly an amazing group of people. One of my students, I think I met him. He was 18 or 19 years old, and he said, my life changed because you're the first person who ever in my life told me to take responsibility for myself. And he's a huge proponent of my book and work as a result. He's a marketing consultant around the world, but he went from, not having anything to becoming a very successful, icon in the world of marketing. And so I have I've worked for the top people in top fields, all the way to people who you don't know about, and you don't, you go, I would never do that as a career, or I don't want that job. But people from all walks of life can benefit, and all people from all walks of life, no matter what their place in life or what their perceived status is, all deserve the opportunity to live as best as they possibly can wherever they are in the world, doing whatever they choose to do. And so I've been very fortunate to be able to appeal to so many different people throughout the years, and help them from small ways to very large ways. But here's the most important thing. Yes, I coach. Yes, I mentor. Yes, I train. Yes, I present. Yes, I do those things. But my goal and my job is for the student or the person I'm mentoring or coaching to surpass me. In other words, I want to be able to hand them whatever they need to be able to change. They have to apply it. I present it to them. They apply it, and they make their changes so that they own their changes. I'm not responsible. I help people to change, but they're responsible for changing. And that's a huge part about my work because I don't want people dependent on me. I want them to rely on themselves. And that to me is the most one of the most significant things about changing in the world today is there's so many people who want you to rely on them or to be loyal and faithful to them forever and not go and make your own way. And my goal is to help people make their own way no matter where they are, what they're doing, or when they're doing it.
That's great. Thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, how do you assist actors and filmmakers in achieving success in the entertainment industry in a nutshell?
Okay. Well, I'm also an actor and a filmmaker. I produce and I direct, but I also act. I'm right now the Screen Actors Guild in the United States is on strike, so we're not doing anything for the last number of months. But I've also taught university filmmaking, but mostly I help people navigate their careers. I've taught acting. I teach actors how to be authentic to the process, but also to have it fun. A lot of acting schools or a lot of acting processes are deeply painful and somehow seem to cause more problems for troubled actors than they do help. So what I want is to help the actor understand that they can step into the character, perform when the camera's rolling, in film or television, and then they can step out of it and enjoy the kind of process that they do. Also, having a career is really an important thing. Knowing how to appeal to people. There are people, for example, who want to raise money for movies or any project, and what they do is they go to people and they say, "Here's my project. It's the best thing ever, and here's what I want to do." But they don't understand the mindset or the attitude of the person who invests. And this is something that's really important. You need to understand what their wants and what their needs and what their desires are and what their interests are, not what your interests are. You have to appeal to them, and then and if it's a match, they'll be willing to do it. Same thing with directors and producers. There's so many actors who want to run up to a director and go, "Hire me, hire me, hire me," and the director doesn't know them. They like, "Who are you? Why should I do that?" Or they give them their screenplay. Those are things that you don't want to do. You want to make the connection, but you want the person to invite you to stay connected. You know, uh, every day, for example, on Facebook or Messenger or LinkedIn, I get people who are pushing their products and their services on me and going, "Hi, Rex, good to meet you. Here's what I do, and here's what I can do for you." And I'm like, I didn't ask for any of this. You're giving me a commercial without me being interested or even knowing if I need that. It'd be better to say, "Hi, Rex. Good to meet you. How are you? What do you like to do? Here, I like this kind of food. What kind of I mean, in other words, treat the person as a human, not as a product or a commodity." But I also consult. I'm an on-set acting coach, and I do produce. I teach people how to do those, the nuts and bolts kind of things to make their projects come together. And I still act.
All right, great. You are doing so great. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what's your personal mantra for living on your terms and creating your best life?
God or the universe, however you want to put it, is my infinite, abundant, and immediate supply, and I always live with overflow.
All right, great answer.
and
Thank
from and from that overflow I can give it away. In other words, I'm a channel, I'm a conduit. Things flow from me, through me, to me, and to others. We're all in it together.
Yeah. All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what's one quick tip for individuals looking to manifest their desires using the law of attraction?
Wow, it's a great question, and it's a whole lot more involved than a simple quick tip in most cases, because it's what people are habitually doing, routinely doing, again without awareness, as I talked about earlier, that is preventing them. But the single, probably the best tip to understand is a couple of steps. One is everything originates from an idea. It starts in here and it moves to out there. So the computer we're using began as an idea, and somebody had to decide to make it. There's an intention. So you have the idea, like I want to make a phone, I want to make a computer, I want to make a dollar. Okay. Then there's the intention, I will make it. So you have to move from what is invisible or as an idea into something that can be accomplished. So we understand it. In order to do that, you want to understand that there's some laws of the universe, and that are like gravity. They always work. The best thing that you can do is to not push it and to not feel desperate about it. Not go, I want, I need, because all you're doing then is creating more of that very same thing. But what you want to do is you want to get really, really, really grateful for everything that you have right now. Whether if you don't like it, find a way to like it. Like if you go, I hate my car, I hate my house, I don't like the clothes I'm wearing, I want different things. You got to find a way to say, I'm so grateful I have these clothes. They keep me warm, or they keep me cool, or they are the way they were, or my house is, just absolutely perfect the way it is, and I'm looking to, maybe get a different house. But you have to be absolutely grateful for what you are. Because when you're grateful, you open up all the other avenues for anything and everything to come in, and you're not hanging on to anything. There's an old saying, like, how do you hold a butterfly? With an open hand. You can't hold a butterfly with a closed fist, because you'll crush it. And the problem with a lot of people is they're crushing what they want because they're clinging to it, and they're always kind of trying to make sure that it's happening. Just allow it, express it, understand that you're taken care of, and that's the stuff that people have to develop, because if they go, the world is a horrible place, for them to go, the world is a beautiful place, may be a series of steps. So be patient, but go through the process, and you'll discover just incredible stuff happening for you. It can happen like that, but it oftentimes doesn't. In the same way that when you plant a vegetable seed or a fruit seed, it takes some time to grow. If you're willing to plant the seed, the idea is make it an intention and allow it to grow without, trying to make it grow. You will get there quicker and faster and easier and more wonderful and more magic, and what seem like miracles will be happening to you. But they aren't miracles and they aren't magic. They're the kinds of things that happen when you release and you have the right attitude.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So, my next question is for those who are just starting their journey of personal development and transformation, what's one piece of advice or encouragement you would like to offer?
Wow. Well, I will talk about my book for a second because I have lots of different pieces of advice and steps and practices and principles that you can apply from the book. I have the Attitude Activator, which is a program that you put on with headphones so that you can listen, that keeps you inspired and motivated and helps you have that attitude. So I do have, programs that I teach and things that I offer. But it goes back to the answer that I just gave, and that is, if you're grateful, if you can look at the world and go, wow, what a beautiful place, how absolutely incredible. I get up in the morning and I'm like, wow, I love my life. I have another day to do something or anything. I've got some girl dogs that I love. I've got my children. I've got what I do. I got the people that I help, and throughout it, the process is learning that is you, everything that happens to you as a result of you being alive is a gift, because your being alive is a gift. And people act like, wow, I can't believe what a hardship it is to be living. Well, for some it is. It seems very difficult because of conditions and circumstances, and that's unfortunate and sad. But what we've learned from so many great people throughout the centuries is that regardless of conditions, hopefully we all work to improve the conditions for everybody, that we come together in harmony and cooperation to make the world, those rough spots, and there are some really rough spots, better for all. But there are some people like Viktor Frankl, who was in a concentration camp during World War II, who said, I understood, or Gandhi and different people who have said, you can imprison me, you can take away everything I have, but you can't take away my heart or what I think. And so what you think and what you feel are truly important. And so if every day you get up and you appreciate the fact that no matter what your situation is, you are here on the planet to experience good things and to help others experience good things. And whatever little you have or whatever lot you have, if you can truly, truly, truly be grateful and appreciative, what it does is it begins to open everything up. When we're stressed, I mean, when we're stressed, when we're dealing with lots of problems and we're overwhelmed or we're depressed or we're angry or afraid or we're fearful, our neurology serves to protect us. Does two things. One is if you're attacked by an animal out in the woods, like something's chasing you, your nervous system takes your blood and your energy and puts it into your arms and legs and pumps it, from your heart so that you can run away or so you can fight the animal. It doesn't at that moment push it into your head so you can think about what you're going to do. You need to be able to respond, react very quickly so it does that. It so what it's doing is it's diverting things to the places that are needed and away from where it isn't needed. When people are stressed, their eyes actually constrict, their brains actually constrict. They're squirting hormones and chemicals in their body that are affecting them in ways that are not healthy and open and positive. So one of the things that you want to do is learn how to live peacefully, have a good attitude, be grateful, be loving to yourself, so that when you are, you begin to notice opportunities around you that you might never have noticed and possibilities that you might never have noticed, and the resources both within you and around you. Do you realize that right now, whatever you or I might need is somebody somewhere in the world has it? And all you need to do is be able to connect up with that person or those people so that they can give you the resources or help you with the resources, or you can give them the resources. So everything that we need is somewhere, and it's a matter of finding it. Well, the more open you are and the more available you are, like when I was talking about the acting, if you're going give me, give me, give me, people aren't going to want to give you. But if you're like so grateful and so from your own goodness, so open and available, then people more naturally want to give you things or help you or assist you or partner with you. And so aligning with people around you happens when you get free of all the worries and the constraints and the reasons and the blames and the excuses and everything that keep you separate from people, and realize we're all in it together. The world's really a really wonderful place, even when it doesn't appear that way. There are far more better days that go on. There's far more good in the world than there is bad. But for some people, they don't realize it or recognize it, and so that becomes a first step for them.
Yeah, sure, sir. Your answer is very, very wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. I really inspired by you. Your answer is very, very wonderful. And thank you for sharing your incredible journey, insights, and wisdom with us today. It's been an honor to have you as our guest. Your experience and expertise in mindset transformation and personal growth are truly inspiring. To our audience, I hope you found this interview as insightful and enlightening as I have. Remember to visit www.rexx.com to learn more about Rex Sykes and his work. Before we sign off, Rex, is there any final message or piece of advice you would like to leave our viewers with today?
If you love your life, life will love you. It starts with you, and because life already does, it's just that most people miss it. But I want to ask you a question. It says you're a student at the Rehan School, and so
Yeah.
what are you doing, and how are we talking to people, and because you're wonderful at what you do. Thank you.
All right, sir. Can I explain what we are doing?
Yes, please.
Okay, my school is very unique. My school subjects are like taking interviews and making TED Talk videos and making Facebook posts. So it's my task to take interviews, and it's taking interviews is very beneficial for us because when I'm not taking interviews, so I don't understand English and I can't speak English. I really don't little bit English. I really not understand little bit English, but now I understand English and I speak English after 100 interviews. I take when I take interviews. So my first interview in English, so I'm not understand what my guest is saying. After a few interviews, my English is well, and after 100 interviews, I understand English and I speak English. Before this, I don't have confidence to speak English, but now it's very good to take interviews, and this is very beneficial for us. So my name is Manahil Remote Job Wali. So you thought that remote job like a job. So Remote Job Wali is like I am on mission to help every graduate in Pakistan earn minimum $500 per month through remote job. So that is my mission. So that's my name is Manahil Remote Job Wali. I help people in Pakistan to earn $500 per month, and I'm learning about this remote job. I'm making TED Talk videos, and I'm making faceless videos about my mission about remote job. I learn about remote job from TED Talk videos. You know what is TED Talk?
Wow, how that is so impressive. And may I use you as an example? Because
Uh,
what you just said and what you just demonstrated is that if you're willing to start something, even if you don't know how at first, if you keep doing it, you get better at it. You said I didn't know English at the start, but now after 100 interviews, I can speak and understand English. So you're a
yes,
walking demonstration of applying the very practices I talk about in my book, and that are principles that are universal. And that is, you have an idea, you have an intention, and then you start doing what you need to do. And in time, everything comes together. So what you couldn't do at first, you're now able to do with greater ease, and it will continue to get easier and better. Plus, you're applying it to a mission and a vision. And so you are helping so many people as a result of that. But you began in transforming yourself to be able to do something, and now you're able to reach a wider and larger audience. That is absolutely wonderful. You need a
thank you
big
so
pat yourself on the back. That was really, really beautiful.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure. Your appreciation is a lot to me. It's everything to me. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, thank you so much. This is great. I'm really glad that we got to meet. Thank you for asking and for the opportunity to speak with you. And what number interview am I?
Uh, your is 284, I think. Yeah, 200.
Wow. Wow. All right. How impressive. That's so marvelous. Well, I'm happy being 284. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much, sir. I take interviews. English is 108 interview to you in English, and I completed in English and Urdu 284.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, can I conclude this interview?
Can you what?
Can I end this interview?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for giving me your precious time. Bye. Have a wonderful day ahead.